going meh. We have gotten some jobs today, which has been good, but there's been long amounts of time in between each job. And we're hoping it gets more consistently busy. But the day isn't over yet. It's barely 4 o'clock now. So, hoping it'll pick up as it gets closer to dinner time. I hope you're doing well and that your day is going all right. Feels like the new year was just barely a few weeks ago. Hello. Nice to see so many of you here. It's going meh. Working DoorDash. We have gotten some jobs, which does help, but we're not nearly as busy as we were hoping to be. But we're hopeful that it will pick up. For those who are new here, I never do the driving. My very capable and handsome husband does all the driving and customer interaction. And my job is to sit in the passenger seat, hold the orders stable so they don't tip over, and live stream when I feel able to handle talking to other people. Thank you, VIP. I appreciate that. I appreciate every kind word and every prayer for things to get better. If you read the description of my live stream, I've written a little bit about all that we're going through lately, and it's a lot. No, that's never happened. I really appreciate that. If there's anything going on with you guys that you could use prayer about, don't hesitate to let me know in the chat window. I've made a bunch of friends here who will tune in whenever they're able to, and they see that I'm live, and they'll say a prayer for you too. And my live streams are meant to be a way for me to get over my social anxiety, to provide moral support for you who are also dealing with all stuff. If all of us people who are hurting can share our hurt together and provide comfort and understanding to each other, this world will be just a little bit more survivable. And my live streams are a judgment-free zone. No divisive topics, just normal everyday issues that anyone could relate to.
Might just start doing controversial topics so that we can actually get more people in here.
That's a fair point.
Your viewer went down the moment you showed you had a husband.
Yeah. People are dumb.
Well, you need views, so.
dude named Johnny says, can you ask Matt if he had to choose between no food or no water for a week, which one would he choose?
Well, life fasts.
Yeah.
So, no matter what, the body needs water, not just water.
Yeah. Definitely.
I haven't in a while, but I used to do long fasts where I would fast for like 100 hours at a time.
Pretty intense stuff.
Yeah. But, necessity-wise, the body needs water and electrolytes, so I'll choose water.
Yeah. We actually don't have soda a whole lot. We usually stick with water or tea. We really like the Arizona tea. And I also like brewing a bunch at home. But occasionally we'll have soda. Mostly A&W root beer or 7-Up. I don't know how time has been going for you guys, but for me it's been a big stressful blur of a bunch of different things happening at once. This year is already half over. I always thought it was dumb when older people would say, oh, you think time's going by fast now. It goes by faster as you get older. I remember thinking, that's dumb. That doesn't make sense. But now I'm living it and realizing they were right. Every year goes by faster than the one before it. I blink and I missed a bunch of holidays. I blink and I missed some more. Has it been that way for you guys too, or has it been more structured and less chaotic? I'm 34, but if you look at me and I'm having a good health day, I could pass for early 20s, but I feel much, much older than that because stress, this awful world that we're in, and a bunch of health issues I have to deal with. Every year does go by faster than the one before it. Yeah, that's very true. When you're having a good time, time goes by fast. When it's a bad day, it drags. Yeah. Today's been very slow, work-wise, but thankfully, we still have earned some money so far. Unfortunately, the part of California we live in has way more dashers wanting to work than customers placing orders. And so on days that it's really slow, it almost doesn't feel worth it to come out here spending all day sitting in a car waiting to work, but you gotta do the mature grown-up thing and stick with whatever means of income you got. If any of you guys watching have experience doing deliveries, I'd like to hear what it was or is like for you. I could pass for 27. You are 27. That's funny. Get anxiety. Things are going good. Yeah, I can understand that feeling very, very well. You're half a century. Nice. If you're familiar with the TV show Everybody Loves Raymond, I grew up being a Robert, and my little brother was Raymond. And there's one episode where Raymond realizes he's a chronic pessimist, and Deborah challenges him to stop being so pessimistic and start trying to be optimistic. And all that he goes through trying to be optimistic is just too relatably funny.
I want that little one.
That would be fun. You grew up like everybody hates Chris. Oh no. That sucks. I grew up in a super conservative, old school Christian household where if it promoted evolution, premarital sex, or any serious adult issues, we weren't allowed to watch it. Couldn't watch Land Before Time because it promoted evolution. Couldn't watch Rugrats because it made the parents look stupid. Couldn't watch Friends because it promoted casual sex. So you can imagine the entire universe of pop culture material that I never was exposed to. And sometimes I feel like I missed out on a lot, and socializing would have been a lot easier. But other times I feel like I was spared a lot of bullshit. It just depends on the day, really. Oh, thank you for the kind words. Oh, that's a rough time. Alcoholic household when you couldn't share food with friends. That's rough. Thankfully, my parents were not abusive. They just were overly strict and sheltering. And what really was rough for me was I grew up in the church. In the house I lived in, the only neighbor kids near enough to play with were 3 years younger than me and younger. I was the oldest kid on the cul-de-sac. The second oldest kid was 3 years younger, and the youngest was like 6 years younger than me. And it was just a handful of kids, so I felt like the ugly dachshund. A big ass Great Dane trying to fit in with little dachshunds, wondering why it's not working. And then I went from being in a private school with other church kids to homeschooled because I had trouble learning. I had undiagnosed ADHD, and I was extremely easily distractible. And my mom thought homeschooling would help. I learned a lot more academically, I can't deny that, but I missed out on the critical socialization that every kid goes through, or is supposed to go through. The only other kids I saw were at church, or the young neighbor kids. Once or twice a week, we'd meet up with other homeschool parents to do PE in the park, but that's not near enough socializing. So I wasn't raised with the correct socializing encouraged. I wasn't pushed to go into any extracurricular activities. I wasn't pushed to be super outgoing and social because my mom thought, oh, you hang out with church kids 2 nights a week, sometimes 3. You're a social butterfly. Yeah. So if I have a hard time dealing with people, it's because I wasn't really taught how. And a lot of my skills I had to learn from my husband teaching me. So it's been a lot of pain and a lot of struggle and confusion and misplaced trust in other people. It's hard. So if any of you who watch this are thinking of homeschooling your kids, be active in their education, but also make sure they hang out with other kids their age. Just relying on the other neighbor kids to be enough entertainment and socializing isn't enough, especially when there's a considerable age gap. Thankfully, I didn't grow up in a smoking household. My dad was a hoarder. Sanford and Son hits a little close to home. But no family is perfect. You get the family that you get, and all you can do is try to make the best of it. Or if it's real bad, escape it when you're able. Thankfully, my parents were loving and stuff. They just were misguided, and they had issues with their own parents growing up. Their parents didn't teach them stuff they should have known. Generational curses are very real, and it takes a lot of strength to recognize the toxic pattern, and it takes even more to go against it and to decide that that pattern stops with you. You're not going to pass it on to the next generation to keep it going. My brother is an excellent dad for that. And he's got 2 little ones, both under the age of 5. And so he's kept on his toes a lot of the time. It's pretty cute. Our trailer just smells like stale, hot air. We use it for storing our non-perishables at the moment. We have a neighbor who's very kindly let us park our trailer where he used to park a trailer he had. He had to get rid of it because health issues limited his ability to go camping. And so he let us put ours where his old one was. And in exchange, we just got to check on his dog every so often when he's out of town. And we're in my parents' home, much more temperature stable than a 5th wheel trailer. So we're thankful for that. But this is definitely not the kind of life that high school me envisioned 34-year-old me living in. But realistically, how many of us actually live up to the dreams we had as kids? I don't know too many. Smoke-free, pet-free, hoarder-free. The pet-free part sounds pretty sad, but funny thing was, when I was younger and I was pissed at my dad, I would watch Hoarders on the living room TV. I would have it on when I knew he'd be home within earshot of it. And there were a few times he got sucked into watching it, and then he kind of looked around at all his shit all around him, and he's like, he just silently started picking up some of it. That trick only worked a couple of times though. But never had a whole lot of experience with pets other than dogs and some fish. Dad's allergic to cats. He gets the big itchy red runny nose and itchy red watery eyes. It's pretty rough on him. And so I've only grown up with the dog and fish. When I was in my early college years, my dad rescued a little pocket gopher that was drowning in a ditch after a heavy rain. He was slow driving, looking for something, and he saw this little clump of fur in the water, and he saved it. He took it home, and we went to the pet store the next morning, got a basic little mouse cage, nursed it back to health, and when we realized it wasn't going to be tameable, we drove back out to where my dad found the little guy and returned him home. And since I had that cage, I thought, you know what, it'd be dumb to not get another rodent since I already have the cage for it. And so then for many years I had fancy mice. I would keep 2 at a time because they need socializing. If you keep a fancy mouse by itself, it will become depressed and sad. They need friends. And so when one of them would die, I'd get another so that the survivor wouldn't be alone. And so for years, the only pets in the house were dogs and mice. My mom got tired of cleaning the fish tank, and I didn't want to deal with it either. So they got rehomed. And a few years ago, I stopped having the mice because it was a lot emotionally for me. Having pets that only live a couple of years. And so when the last one was left alone, I just gave it extra attention, extra handling time, extra treats. So she didn't feel alone. And when she passed, I gave up the cage. And since then, I've had jumping spiders. And currently, all the spiders I had have passed on due to old age. And we have a leopard gecko named Sisu, and he's a good little guy. He's a sweet little creature. His needs are just bugs and a heated UV light and water and calcium dust. He loves to soak up body heat. So when we're home at the end of a long day, I will literally give him skin to skin cuddle time. And he loves to settle on my shoulder, but he'll also settle on my chest, like right over my heart. And it just makes me feel nothing but warm and fuzzy, happy, comforted feelings. If you've never had a reptile seek you out for body heat, it truly is a sweet feeling, even though it's not emotions based for the reptile. It's still a creature recognizing you can bring them comfort, and they trust you enough to seek out that comfort. And that makes me feel a lot happier when things are rough. I've never been in a fist fight. I punched a dude in the chest before because he pissed me off. I'll just say I have not Napoleon syndrome, but like killer rabbit mentality. This dude who was a friend of a friend, all of us were hanging out. My friend's friend got tired of my friend's dog barking, and so he did a scary gesture, and the dog yelped as if it got hit. And I saw that it did not get hit, but that cry triggered me into seeing red. And this dude was a foot taller than me, and working to become a policeman. And I straight punched him in the chest out of anger because he scared a dog that bad. I gave no fucks about my safety. It was just pure emotion. You don't make an animal or any living creature cry out in pure terror in front of me and not get a reaction out of me. It's not going to happen. Since then, I've gotten better control over my anger. And I later on thanked the guy for being calm and not decking me like he had every right to. If you throw hands, be expected to catch hands. And I just thank God that he was more calm and he didn't react. He just stood there like, okay. Yeah, the mice pee, it is kind of a strong smell. You have to clean the cage every few days. Spot cleaning every other day is highly recommended. But That's another benefit of having a gecko. Their cage doesn't really stink. Gecko poop honestly doesn't really smell that strong. So that makes it easier. He had a gerbil 2 years. Got jacked. That's funny. I'm picturing a cute little gerbil flexing like a bodybuilder. Oh, once every 2 weeks? Oof. I can remember the smell in my own head now. Yeah, I can imagine. The muscle tone that some of those little critters can develop is crazy. Like our little leopard gecko, he is strong enough to hold on when he's cuddling and he doesn't want to be moved. He will grab on to whatever surface he's on with all of his fingers. And it looks pretty funny when I have to have Matt help peel him off because he doesn't want to stop cuddle time with mama. And we treat him with cat logic. If he gets cozy while on you, you have to stay put. If you're in a pose and he falls asleep on you and moving would wake him, you're not allowed to move. You can ask the other to do the waking instead and then set you free, but you don't do the waking yourself. It just feels too bad. Just to drag his balls. Yeah, the male mice really are well endowed in relation to the rest of them. It's pretty funny. Crested geckos are the same way. In reptile community pages, people will post pictures of their cresties like, is this male or female? And the little dude has massive balls. And it's like, no, it's not a male. It's funny. A dwarf mouse. I don't think I've seen one. I'll have to look that up later. Thank you, VIP. I appreciate the kind words. I hope you also have a good and productive week. Right now, we're still sitting waiting for orders. I've been live with you guys for 30 minutes. No orders came into us since then, so
We are live right now, too.
just have to wait. Hey, Pinkster, it's great to see you. I missed you. We're hanging in there. We've been under more stress, but life goes on. We're managing as best we can, and just hoping the rapture happens really soon. Hope things are going well for you. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. Summertime, I can imagine.
Love you.
I love you more.
I love you more.
On a good note, a new cannabis brand has come to the market. I can't remember the name of it, but the dispensary, their pen ads were $14 after taxes, just under 20. So I got a gram for just under $20. And I got this a couple of days ago. A cartridge this size used to last me 4 to 5 days, but I've been able to stretch it out a little bit more just by doing more mindful stretching of my back to help it not get so stiff and achy. And so finding a newer, cheaper brand and learning how to make it stretch farther it's made a difference. And little bit by bit, we're able to pay our credit card debt a little bit more than we used to. So every single little victory is worth celebrating, because this world is full of losses everywhere. And I think we can all agree with that. Thank you, Pinkster. 5 over. Yeah, one dab in is nice. Yeah. I've been honestly having a rougher time with my depression. I say life is a hotel, and we don't know how long our reservation is set for, but as long as you're in there, you're alive, you can hang out with other people in the hotel, but once you check out, you can't check back in. And I've been having thoughts of checking out early, a lot. Like, ugly crying while praying to God, hey God, I don't want to do this anymore. Can you please either take me home or make things easier? Because I can't keep living like this. I'm not going to survive. And little bit by little bit, he's been giving us more morale boosters to get us through. But it's been rougher lately. And I've seen a lot of other people are having a rougher time lately too. And I just want to say to you others who are also struggling, I understand. But I made the resolve not to leave my reservation early, because that wouldn't be fair to the others still in the hotel who would miss me. So I'm staying put until my reservation ends on its own. And I just want to encourage all of you who are struggling, please keep your reservation going. Things could turn a corner, and you could finally have that breakthrough that you've been needing this whole time. And you could be just one day away from it. But if you cancel your reservation early, you'll never know what you would have missed out on had you stayed. So even though it sucks, like really sucks, we got to keep going, and we got to be there for each other. And if we can be honest and supportive and helpful with each other, it'll make this life just a little bit more survivable. When you're dealing with this world and all that it throws at you by yourself, it's a nightmare. When you have a support system, it makes it a little less of a nightmare. It doesn't make it not a nightmare anymore. It just means you have allies to help fight your enemies as you're stuck in the nightmare. Death in Texas. I'm catching up on the comments. Just give me a second. I don't have the lung capacity to do a full-on blinker, but I could take a decent 8-second drag. Still catching up on comments. Minivan. Hey, Garbuncle, thank you. Thank you guys, I really do appreciate all of you. I would love a minivan. My very first car was a minivan that my parents had. They decided they wanted to upgrade when I was in college, and so they let me have the van, and they got a newer car. And we loved that van. But after a couple of years, car crash totaled it. And we've been jumping from vehicle to vehicle every couple of years ever since. And currently we are borrowing a car that my dad got for dirt cheap from a friend. He got this car with intent of it being a spare vehicle in case his primary and secondary crap out on him. He has a third. But they're very graciously letting us use it as much as we need. So we're trying not to bite the hand that feeds. I do miss having a minivan. Camping in it was always great fun. Thank you guys. Oh no. Moldy seats are never good. Thank you, Pinkster. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all of you for your kind words and your understanding. If I could give you all an in-person hug, I would. There's a leak in your roof because someone shot your car. 22. Oh my fuck. That's horrible. So much. I don't know what you mean. I have glasses right here. And I have a necklace right here. This is a seatbelt cover. I have sensitive skin and the seatbelt material is very rough. And I will get scratches. So this helps. It's the bottom dollar you could buy that car. Well, because my dad had a long-standing friendship with the dude who sold him this car, he was able to snag it for $200.
Nope.
No.
One.
Oh.
100.
Either way, it was dirt cheap. But this is not the worst vehicle that we've had to use. So keeping that in mind helps it not hurt so much. Giving his money back for him. Oh, thank you, Pinkster.
Sure, we just had to pay $300 for just 2 tires on the back.
Yeah. It's insane.
He's put more into the car than he actually paid for it. But at the same time, that's what you get when you get it really cheap.
So
Do I have another white hair up here?
I see it. What we're stuck in is a 2012 Hyundai Veloster. It is not the best car that we've had, but we've had much worse than this. One car we had only primer gray paint, no AC, no radio, and we had to use it during the summertime in central California where it reaches triple-digit Fahrenheit weather for a whole month straight. It was not fun. Thankfully, though, this car has working AC and a working stereo, but it's not the smooth ride of the 2020 Impala we used to have. We got it for a deal from a used car dealer because it used to be a rental car. We were making payments on it. We had that Impala for 2 years. It was an amazing car. But when inflation really hit hard, everyone had to cut their budgets down. And if you order a lot of deliveries, that's usually one of the first things you cut out if you're having to shrink your budget. And our living...
This was from my head.
Oh, damn. That's white.
That was the one that was up here.
Wow. My husband just pulled a white hair from his head. The stress is real. I'm sure I have a few white hairs that are just hidden because I got a lot of hair.
Must have a million little holes in your head.
Right. But what sucked about inflation was we made enough money to keep the car at that time, but then we had to just outright give it back. For 2 months in a row, we had to ask for family to help us make the payment because we didn't have enough. And after that happened twice, we realized this isn't gonna work. We can't keep borrowing from family just to keep a car. So we got paid up to date when we had surrendered it at the start of this year. They told us they were gonna sell it to someone else and have us pay the difference. But they didn't tell us is we'd have to pay them 11 fucking grand while they sold the car to another dealer for less than 10. For perspective, we had 19 grand and some change left to pay before the car would outright be ours.
Never crashed it, still good, all good parts. Literally just needed an oil change when we gave it back, and they decided to give it to a dealership for cheap. I assume it was a dealership that they were friends with because they currently have our old car listed for 14 grand at that dealership when they bought it for 9.
Yeah, and they expect us to pay the difference. But we're just gonna let that sit and go to collections because we have no money to pay them. You can't get blood from a turnip, and I'll laugh at your ass if you try. But we also have credit card debt. It's just not, it's not been a good time financial wise because of work and how the economy affects work. But we have always had everything we truly need to survive. So we're thankful. It could definitely be a lot worse. I reeled you in. Well, I appreciate that you stuck around a bit. But yeah, it sure sounds like that's their way. But, so we're living rent-free with my parents, earning our keep by doing all the housework, having to borrow my dad's car while having our trailer parked in the neighbor's yard. And the trailer is in his parents' name, so we have no legal property in our name. So they're gonna have to pull a fucking magic trick if they think they're gonna get 11 grand out of us. Like, I have been learning that there's only 3 ways you can react to shit like this. You can get pissed off and have it wreck everything. I've done that. It doesn't do much. You could cry about it. Doesn't fix anything. Or you could laugh about it. And then people look at you like you're crazy, but who isn't a little bit crazy to some extent nowadays? I don't think my dad would be willing to sell the car for that much. He'd probably want a few hundred. But the silly thing is, this is a Hyundai Veloster. My dad's primary, a Chevy Spark, a little tiny car, not a whole lot bigger than a Fiat. And his secondary car, a big-ass Dodge Ram truck with a lift kit. I used to be the primary driver because in my college years and right afterwards, I had places to go, and the truck was usually the only thing available. And so a little part of me is wishing we could use the truck for work because it feels more bitchin' to drive around in a big ass diesel lifted Dodge truck.
Not for that
But
gas,
parking and the diesel cost negate all feeling of badassery that it would otherwise give me. Hello, nice to see you guys. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. My dad, I think, is keeping this car under his name so that we won't have to worry about losing it. Their mindset is collections can't take what isn't in our name. Because what are they going to try to take? The clothes off of our bodies? We have 8 kids, so you have... Yeah. Hey, Rotten Apple, it's great to see you. He's right here. Rotten Apple asks, how you doing?
I'm alright. Mentally, I'm not the best, but I'm doing what I can. Y'all know how it is.
Yeah. I think every one of us, no matter your background, I think we can all agree this is not the world that we thought we'd be dealing with at this point in time. I did not think things would be easy. I did not think life would be handed to me on a silver platter. But I sure as shit didn't think it would be this difficult. Yeah, that sounds like the reason. Thanks, Pinkster. The reminder helps. God helped me have the aha moment where I realized He never let us get settled into our own place because He knew my mom would need us to be there, living there to help her after she gets her surgeries. She's got a lot of problems with her neck and her back. I share the same issues, but hers are much more advanced because she is my mother. And she has over 20 years on me. And she's going to be needing surgery to stabilize her neck and her back in the upcoming months. And I believe that God knew if we had moved out fully on our own into an actual building and not just in the trailer, it would have been a real dilemma to decide whether to make day visits to check on and help my mom or just full on move back. And I think God knew it would be too much of a struggle to figure out what to do, so He just took it out of the equation altogether. Had us floating around, starting off at His parents'. Then stuff happened. We moved back to my mom and dad's. We lived there for a few years while we were trying to get on our feet. And then we moved back to his parents and into the trailer. And then we had to move out and take the trailer, and we're back at my parents'. So we've been like a tennis ball going back and forth and back and forth. But I understand that it was so we'd be able to fully move in with my parents without a whole lot of complication. So I'm thankful that we were spared all of that, but it still hurts to feel a lot farther behind in life than everyone else around. But then I remind myself, it's not a race, it's a trail that you hike. Yeah, some people finish the hike a lot quicker, but as long as you just don't give up and you keep trying to move on, that's what matters. Rotten Apple, I love you. I don't know why you would think I don't like you. You were a single dad? That's rough. I have mad respect for single parents, especially single dads, because so much against you right off the bat. Yeah, rotten apple, that's very true. There was a... Before I disappeared from YouTube for a few years, I was struggling a lot with mental health and world events. And long story short, I let myself sink into such a bad, dark hole from learning too much about child trafficking. And I let it take me down all the way to rock bottom. I became an NPC, basically. No passion, no individuality, no creativity, just doing what I have to stay alive. And that's it. And I regret every single moment I spent willingly down. I could have gotten up a hell of a lot sooner. But the past is the past. All we can do is try to do better in the present. And when I was at my worst and I was not worth knowing, if I'm completely honest, I was totally worthless as a person. He didn't give up on me when he really should have, for his own sake. But he stuck in there. I was able to pull my head out of my ass and start fixing myself. And it's hard. If you're at rock bottom right now, I want to encourage you to fight to get back up. Yeah, it's normal to get knocked down. And yeah, it's normal to spend some time down there, but don't spend a single second down there longer than you absolutely have to. I let myself stay down. I didn't fight to get better. I just accepted that this was life and that it was dumb to hope for anything better. Life was grayscale, and I thought dreaming of Technicolor was pointless. But that's just deep depression and the spiritual enemy talking. I'm not that person anymore. I don't live like an NPC anymore. But I do feel the call to return to that sometimes. And that's the rough thing with mental health. A lot of struggles don't fully go away. They can go unnoticed and unfelt for a while, but I don't think they ever completely go away. I think you got to spend the whole rest of your life actively fighting to not let those return. To not let past toxic patterns of behavior be repeated anymore. Yeah, NPC, non-playable character. It's a video game term where you're just an extra in life. You're not a main character that can be played. You don't make your own choices. You just exist. And not a day goes by that I don't regret letting myself hit that point and stay as long as I did. But I just try and use that as fuel to push me to keep getting better as much as I can. And he is an amazingly patient man, and I can't picture being happy with being alive without him. love you.
I love you more.
I love you most. Been live for 57 minutes now. Almost 58. I'm very blessed to have the love of a good man. And we're still not getting any work. I'd like to hear how you guys are doing, what you got going on with your life. If there's anything interesting or fun.
You know what would have made paying that thing a lot easier? A change. But we have a dinner date free. Well, not free, but you know. We turned in one of my change jars to get to a Coinstar, and there ended up being $46.50 worth of change, and we did it with the Coinstar to get a gift card. So we're gonna have a 3 for me dinner date special one of these days. Not sure when, but
Soon.
yeah.
Yeah. If you guys haven't gone to Chili's recently, you should check out their 3 for me. It really is a great deal. Thank you, Pinkster. I appreciate that. I thank God for all the kind people that have crossed my path. I really do. You guys have been wonderful.
So slow. Come on, man. I firmly believe that's why it keeps dropping in numbers. push yourself to have high energy for it.
Yeah, that's very true. I hear you. Oh. Keep. Well, have you seen any good movies or TV shows lately? Oh, One Set of Footprints story. Yeah, that is a good one. It's a good, comforting reminder. Well, if I gotta choose a subject to talk about, let's talk about movies and TV shows that are fun or interesting. We saw the Minecraft movie a few weeks ago, and it was pretty good. I didn't grow up with video games. My very first gaming console was a Wii that my mom bought when I was in college. And I played Just Dance and Wii Sports on that. But I knew what Minecraft was. I had played it a little bit here and there, but never really got into it. But after seeing that movie, I'm gonna give it another go. Let some of my creativity out. If I'm feeling pissy at the world, I'll just blow a bunch of shit up.
What do you, Ray-Rub? Battery percentage
61. When you die. Yeah, I love the Footprints poem. It is a good comfort. Yeah. There's just so much going on that.
Since I'm gonna have to pull something out, do you want something while I'm in there? I just can't pull out some. I just can't spend a lot on that.
The cheapest drink that you can find. Like if they got cheap sodas.
Why not water?
Okay, yeah, water works.
And I'm not gonna pay for water with money. I meant something that I can pull them out with.
Okay. I can't think of anything other than water, like you said. You have something like?
No, that's why I was asking you. I'm gonna leave the car on because it still shows it's night before.
I could go in with you.
No, you're gonna stay live streaming.
Okay.
Try to make a topic. It's tiring saying that in deaf ears. Love you.
I love you more. Thank you, Pinkster, for all of that. We love you too, man. I hope that you have a good rest of your day and that tomorrow is a good day for you. We'll see you later, man. Well, if anyone is interested in talking about movies or TV shows that you recommend, I would love to talk about something like that. It's hard for me to just go off and talk about stuff. I go live so I can interact with you guys. But apparently it hurts viewership if I don't have a topic to discuss. And if I just try to be purely social about it and go for quality interactions, not quantity, apparently I gotta have a topic in mind. And so that topic will be movies and TV shows that you like. Or if you've seen something and you don't recommend it, I'd like to hear why. Oh, well, happy early birthday, Pinkster. I'll have to tune in and be available so I can say happy birthday to you on then. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you, every one of you who is interacting and having nice things to say. It means a lot. It really does. I am still struggling with social things, but the more I practice at it, it's starting to get a little easier, but it's still hard. There are still times I find myself hesitating to go live when I could, if I push myself, but it's just been hard. So prayers for things to just be easier to handle would be great. Dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety and grief of multiple loved ones who have died over the years. Some of them I didn't even really get to say a final goodbye to. It was just an unexpected, sudden thing. And it's hard. I miss every one of them, every day. And to be honest, I cry every day about it. But if me being honest about it helps even just one of you who watches this to feel less alone in their grief, well, then I'll happily risk being labeled as dramatic in the name of being honest and encouraging support for others going through similar stuff. A couple of loved ones who have died, we're not sure where they stood with Jesus before they died. So we don't know where a couple of them ended up. But we'll find out during the rapture. And I just want to see as many people up in there as possible. So if you are not right with Jesus yet, specifically the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I recommend you get on good terms with him. There is only one way to get to heaven, and Jesus is the only way. Heaven is a perfect place with no sin or imperfection allowed in. When we are all born, we are given clothes. They start off mostly white, but an indelible black spot. That black spot disqualifies us from heaven, and as we live our life and make decisions to sin, more dirt gets accumulated on that shirt. Some of us will even get a bunch of tears in it. And you need a perfect white shirt to enter. And Jesus is the only one that can give you a new pure white shirt. You don't want to die having not known Jesus, only to be turned away from heaven because you never got on good terms with Jesus Christ. And when you die, you only go to one destination. You either go to heaven if you have loved and believed in the Lord Jesus Christ as the only way to heaven, or hell if you reject Jesus and you reject God. God doesn't send us to hell. Hell is originally meant to punish all the fallen angels who rebelled against God and fell from heaven. Hell wasn't made for people, but sin disqualifies you from being worthy of heaven. And if you don't get on good terms with God, you are choosing hell. People will sometimes have the attitude of, well, God hasn't done anything for me, so I don't want him. That is the worst mistake that you could make. Because God is light, God is water, God is living bread. And without that, you have darkness, die of thirst and hunger. And he is also the air in our lungs. And when you decide you don't want to be close to God because you're mad, that's choosing hell. It's not, God's not gonna look at your attitude and be like, oh, you know what? I'm wrong. I'll suspend my requirements for perfection for you. It doesn't work that way. You can't get past the bouncer if you don't meet the guidelines that the bouncer is supposed to follow. And heaven is the club you want to get in. Jesus is the bouncer. If you disrespect or ignore him, he's not going to gain you entry. He's going to be like, who are you? And after you die, you do not want him to say, who are you? I never knew you. So please, get right with Jesus. Get right with God. Don't hold on to anger and negative feelings. It's understandable to be mad at God, but ultimately, you just have to do what you can do and ask God for help in handling what happens. I went through a phase for a long while where I just didn't want to talk to God. I was angry at all that happened to me. I was angry at all that I had lost, all the lifelong dreams I had, that being born in this body, Leonard he's made those dreams die. And I was pissed for a long time about that, because my dreams were simple. I wanted to be married on our own piece of land with at least 2 kids and a bunch of animals. I can't have kids, and we've had a bunch of financial pitfalls that were not our choosing. So I was mad a long time, but you're not going to get anywhere in life if you just stay mad. So if you're just staying mad, I want to encourage you, try and think with reason. Try and think of why you're angry. Like, write it out if you have to. List everything that pisses you off. And then one by one,
Please press 1 for current jury.
I want you to try and think of ways to handle the things that are pissing you off. Think with reason. And it gets easier. It's not easy, but it gets easier. I didn't like what you had said, but that didn't make me full on dislike you. I try to give people a few chances before I have a negative opinion set in place. With my...
Yay, I'm excused.
Oh, that's good. My husband just got excused from jury duty, so it's good news.
Yeah, that's off our back. And now we gotta go to the bank, put money in so we can pay a $200 bill just for living in this fucking world.
Yeah,
We're the only creatures dumb enough to pay to live here.
that's for sure. Clothes and cheap clothing. Yeah, that's very true. I understand, Rotten Apple, and I had assumed that you were going through a lot. I've been begging God for more wisdom and insight on handling other people, and He's helped me to fully realize that how people treat you isn't a reflection on you, it's how they are feeling.
Also, you gotta ask yourself, were you being a poopy head to them?
True.
Because if you were, their reaction is valid.
Right.
Valid question.
But it's a normal, it's not good, but it's common for people that are not happy with their lives to lash out at people who are doing better in comparison. And I've never really taken to that mentality. I tried for a little bit just to see if it would affect me different. I didn't like it affected me. And so I don't wish anyone to lose good things that they got in life. I just hope and pray for more good things to be sent my way. Like whenever I see people with a bunch of kids, it kind of hurts. But we're given the cards that we're given, and all we can do is play them to the best of our ability. And I'm praying for all of you who are going through a lot, because I'm going through a lot, and I know I need prayer, and I know I'm not the only one. So just know that I'm praying that things will be easier for you to handle, and that you'll have the support system that you need so that you can get through what you're going through. I don't want to see anyone struggle in life, unless you're a pedophile. Then I want nothing but struggle for the rest of your existence. But for your basic, decent, average person, I want good things to happen for you. I want you to have that aha moment where you make a life realization that helps change your perspective, and it helps you handle things a different way that's more effective. I've had a couple of those, and I'm trying my best to not forget that. And so I just want you all to know I'm praying for you all too. I hate slow drivers. Oh, rotten apple, I understand what you mean. I understand that feeling. Things can get better. They really can. And I just want to encourage you. Do all that you can on your end to make better choices that'll help you. And I'll be praying that you'll be able to get through this. I think every one of us has hit a point like that. And it's a horrible pain. I don't wish it on good people, but it happens to everybody. But like Pinkster, I also struggle with the hermit mindset. As my girlfriends all started having their dreams come true, getting married and then having kids, it just got too painful to try and hang out with all of them because they were not rubbing their happiness in my face, but I was just raw to it. It felt like salt on a wound, seeing them living out my dreams that this body has made. It's nothing more than dreams. Then it'll never be my reality to have kids of my own. Some days I'm okay with that. And I think this economy is shit. I wouldn't want to deal with caring for a little one in this world. But
you're talking like you're about to start crying.
It's hard. Every day is different. Right now I'm doing pretty decent, all things considered. But it became easy for me to just stop trying to hang out with people as they started living out my dreams as their reality. I didn't do it out of spite. I did it out of wounded care. I was wounded, but I had enough care to know that and to keep a distance so I wouldn't lash out on them. I don't like causing undue pain to others. And I have never understood people that did enjoy causing pain that was undue. But a lot of people are that way. We can't decide how other people treat us, but we can decide how we react to it. And I just want you all to try and pick the better route. Try and be a person that little you would have looked up to. Love you. Yeah, people can be horrible. There's no denying that. Hey, guacamole, it's great to see you. Cheeseburgers do sound good right now. Well, thank you for the kind compliment. I appreciate that. But, like I was saying, life will kick you in the proverbial nuts every so often. Some of us get nut tapped a lot more than others. Well, there are some that seem to never really get tapped, and It's easy to fixate on why they don't hurt as much as you do. I honestly still struggle with that. I have to constantly fight my own thinking. I have to argue with myself into staying on the rational, correct way of thinking. It's hard. This doesn't work for people with no willpower, no endurance. You got an order? Baby! Matt! You got an order! You got an order! Let me see. Okay. $9 Bevmo order. Okay. Okay, we just got an order. After an hour and a half of nothing. Okay. At least we got that going. Thank you, Guacamole. I'm 34. It took me a long time to reach these realizations, but the sooner you can learn, the easier it gets to handle things. Like I said earlier,
Is it a big order?
It didn't look like a big one.
This says how many items. That's.
I didn't really take a look at that. I just saw that it's $9 to go 4 miles. The sooner you can become self-aware, the sooner you can start fighting to do better. So, if any of you can learn anything from my example, when other people tell you don't do something because they believe it will hurt you, usually they're right. And also, not everybody who lends an ear and flashes a smile at you is a friend. If I'd have known those 2 life lessons a lot younger in life, I do think things might have turned out a little different, but we can't undo what happened. None of us have a time machine that would allow that. But all we can do is try to do better in the present. You can't choose how people treat you, but you choose how to react. You can fight fire with fire and try and be just as petty as they are. Or you can try and be better and rise above that. And then once you're able to start doing that, it gets easier. But I would lie if I said that I don't feel the petty urge sometimes. Like, I love my parents. Sometimes they do stuff that really makes no sense, and I have to bite my tongue. That's another life lesson. Silence is an option. You don't have to react to everything that you hear. You don't have to chime in your 2 cents to every conversation that you overhear. And if someone says some crazy messed up stuff to you, you can just pretend you didn't hear them and try and ignore them. And if you don't react, after a while they get bored and they stop trying. But dealing with other people is never easy. to live in LA for 5 years. Yeah, that would be hard. Rotten Apple says to say hi to you for him.
Hello. Yeah, my beard is back for the stream.
When we get home, I can help line the edging up if you want.
Did I say that? Wigga?
You're funny.
What's up, y'all? I give her the N-word pass. The nigga pass.
I am actually 6.9% African, so technically.
I was born in the year of the monkey, so I believe I have the N-word pass.
Well, the only reason why Matt and I are so kind and understanding and all that is because we've been through a lot of rough shit. And we had help from the Lord Jesus to get us through it.
His name was Jesus, and he was our gardener. Get it wrong. You got a white nose here.
Oh, that's funny. Wonder how many white hairs I have on my head. Probably a few.
Oh, I got it.
It is light.
When I get home, we're gonna have rice and chicken.
That sounds
We need to
good.
utilize all that chicken.
I'm a
We
terror.
bought ourselves a rotisserie, and compared to all the other rotisserie chickens, this one was the biggest one. Like, it was so big that it was touching the top of the container, and all the other ones were about like a third. Not a third. They're yeah. Every other one was about 2/3 about the size one we got, and it guarantees. It claims it's 3 pounds, but when I weighed it, it was over 5. And after eating some, not a whole lot, just like some, because you know, like cleaning off bones and all that. I separated the meat from the bone. Had literally probably a small amount of chicken. Anyway, I'm staring away because of my ADHD. We ended up recovering literally 3 pounds of chicken from it. And Annie has, because I saved the skin for Annie because that's her favorite part. We have about half a pound of chicken skin that's all fried up, seasoned, and all that.
And I'm trying to put on some weight because I.
You gotta stay.
Yeah.
You're a good girl and stay.
Love you. Currently, my weight is healthy, but my appetite is flighty like a wild bird. If I am not in the right emotional space, I can't eat. So it's hard. But I'm gonna be eating a lot of that chicken skin to help put on some more fat on me. I'm just thankful I'm not underweight or skinny anymore. I forgive you. I understand, Rotten Apple. I do. When you're hurt, it's easy to lash out. It really is. But you understand that it was hurtful and you apologized. And I do forgive you and I understand. And I just want to send you a mental hug right now. Yeah, life sucks. But if we can all stick together and encourage each other, we can help get through this life together and be made better for it. Yeah, these do burn pretty quick. But I'm very thankful because this way I can medicate while working technically, and it won't leave a residue like if I had smoked a joint or hit a bong. This stuff dissipates like the nicotine vapes, but it's THC with a tiny bit of CBD. It's a purple Urkel. That's a strain of this one. I had to get it just for the name itself because I grew up watching Family Matters and quoting, "Did I do that?" Fucking love Julia White as Urkel. I bet most kids don't even know who that character is. Fuck, I feel old. I am a thinker slash laugher when I'm medicated. Sometimes both. It does have a hint of grape flavoring to it. Hence the name Purple. Urkel. And that's tasty. I'm not picky when it comes to weed, but I do find myself drawn towards both the dessert flavored strains like biscotti, wedding cake, gelato, stuff like that, but I also really love the earthy and citrusy ones. Do any of you guys have any preferences, or is it all just good to you? And also, what form do you use? For me, I just use the dab pen. It's easier than smoking a joint and then having to worry about airing the smell out before holding orders in the lab. With this stuff, I just hit it like a nicotine vape, and the smell goes away real quick. It doesn't linger. And it's instant relief for all the pain in my body and my head and my heart that would make life otherwise unbearable. I have multiple issues affecting my spine, and they all add up to causing me intolerable stabbing, shooting pain in my lower back. And I have horrible headaches and mental health struggles and a lot of heartache and grief. This helps me not feel any of those pains, and it helps me feel mellow, more chill, able to be a little bit more rational and less emotional. I used to resort to alcohol before I found weed. I would only drink if I was in a lot of pain in my head because of bad headaches, or if I was in a really foul mood and I needed an instant fix. I used to be a heavy user of Fireball whenever I was upset. Oh, I was blowing this out.
Hold on.
Is that everything?
Yes.
Okay. I had the window down because I was hitting the pen, and I didn't want to blow it in here.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Just only have it down when you're actually exhaling. You're letting the cold air out.
I hear you. I just finished.
I'm just saying, you know.
I know. This car doesn't make sense.
discovered she can have long johns.
Oh yeah, I forgot about mentioning that. We went and did a late Father's Day food run for my dad-in-law, and he likes Long John Silver's, and I loved it before celiac disease hit me 11 years ago. And I knew that they didn't have anything safe for a long time, so after a certain point I stopped hoping that there'd be something safe. But somebody told me to go in with Matt to place the order for her dad. And turns out they have grilled salmon and grilled shrimp now. It's pricey, not gonna lie. It's like $1 per grilled shrimp.
They're not even jumbo shrimp either.
But they were delicious, and they did not make me sick the next day. So I can now add Long John Silver's to the short list of fast food places that are safe for me in general.
Let's not forget what else you had.
Oh yeah, and the salmon. They had a small salmon, and it was very, very delicious. If you don't have any dietary restrictions due to health issues, be happy and appreciate that, because it's a real gift to have a healthy digestive tract with no dietary restrictions. You'd be amazed at how many things have gluten. And for those of you who don't know what celiac is or gluten, celiac is a disease where your body attacks the lining of your gut because the protein structure of the little hairs that line your gut and absorb all the nutrients, they're the same structural shape as gluten found in wheat, barley, rye, and triticale. And with celiac,
Talking about my sleeping medicine? Trinidad?
but in celiac, your body produces antibodies that are triggered when they sense the presence of gluten. And instead of only attacking the gluten, it attacks the gluten and all other structures that are the same protein structure. So eventually, your body destroys your digestive tract if you keep having gluten when you have celiac. I was approaching death's door before I got diagnosed. It took multiple months from onset of noticeable symptoms to diagnosis. And within those several months, I became so weakened, I could not walk unassisted from the living room couch to the bathroom without falling over. My digestive tract had become so damaged because I was unknowingly taking in poison. And my mom made a gluten-free chicken and rice soup for me because everyone knows it's good soup when you're sick. And I started to get better. And then one night she made spaghetti, and I had that spaghetti instantly. It was made way sicker the next day. And that triggered my mom into remembering the doctor telling her, watch out for these dietary symptoms of celiac because she has the genetic markers for it. She's likely to develop it later on in life. And so they did the testing for it. They do a blood draw. They check for your antibodies to see what ones you have and to what level you have. I had every marker for celiac, and my levels were the highest that the tech who read my sample had ever seen. They were dumbfounded. And once you get a positive blood test for it, they give a final confirmation by doing an endoscopic biopsy of your upper digestive tract. And they look for a specific type of damage. I had that specific type of damage. So in the spring of 2014, I found out if I eat gluten, my body attacks itself. And it takes a long time for the body to heal. And some damage is unrepairable once you reach a certain point. So if you're having a lot of symptoms, you should probably get yourself tested just in case. Because I was getting extremely weak, and I was having horrible gut pain and bathroom trouble. My appetite was extremely weak. I had horrible headaches. And I didn't have the physical strength to just walk around from one end of the house to the other. I had to slowly walk with someone holding my arm. And it's really humbling when you have to rely on someone to walk you to the bathroom. But I survived. I got diagnosed before it was too late. But keeping my weight at a healthy level has been a struggle ever since. With my BPD, emotions affect my body a lot more than your mentally healthy person would feel. Like if I am feeling deep sadness or grief, I have no hunger in my body and I just feel physically cold. And I will be pale. If I'm angry, I will be red hot and I will feel hot to the touch. And it's not a good feeling. If I'm anything other than calm and happy, my hunger just doesn't show up. And so 1506. But anyways, keeping my weight up has been a struggle. But being gluten-free has gotten easier over the years because there's a lot of more gluten-free products available. A lot of people buy into the idea that gluten makes you fat. If you go gluten-free, you'll lose weight. And if you truly are following a gluten-free diet, you will lose some weight, because a lot of processed foods that have gluten are full of a bunch of other junk that's not good nutrition. And so some people have lost weight going gluten-free, but it's a mixed bag for me because
calories, that's gluten.
Because I mean, yeah, there's a lot of gluten-free stuff available and I'm thankful. But I always get a certain look whenever I ask if something's gluten-free. Like, I'll see the micro expression of, oh gosh, here's another fad dieter. And then I explain, I have celiac disease. Gluten will make me sick. Is this gluten-free? I instantly see the gears shift in their heads towards,
Yeah,
oh,
I
shit.
think a quicker way to just break it to them is, it's like a peanut allergy. I'm allergic to it.
Yeah.
Keep it short and simple. She tends to over-explain and shit.
Yeah, that's true. I was raised by two over-explainers.
$5, it's a high-paying job.
It's insane.
No, it's not. It's probably $4 and a $2 tip, or a $1 tip. You know, more than like 80% of the times, more than 80% of the times, McDonald's orders never have tips. If they do, it's change. And y'all wonder why your McDonald's is all cold by the time you get it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, it looks like we're not going to be able to watch Marvel today. Would have been nice, but oh well.
That's
Next
okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
You're drinking water, right?
I am. I do need to top off my bottle. We're parked though.
If no one's talking, just end it.
Yeah, I'll do that and put our music back on. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you all. I appreciate you all, and I'm praying for you all. Be good to yourselves and each other, and I'll see you later.